and today we are going to talk about future tenses. Well, you all know what a future tense or a sentence with a future tense is about, right? Of course, it is about an action that is going to happen in the future or that will happen in the future. Am I right? Well, not completely. Wow, what did I just say? Am I telling you that all sentences with the future tense do not have to be used with a will or a going to? Yes, that is exactly what I am saying. There are a lot of things that you never knew about future tense because you don't have to always talk about future events by using the common words like will or going to. That's boring. So today I'm going to show you a new way to talk about future events. Okay, let's look at the first way. What if I told you that you can use or you can talk about the future tense by using a sentence in the present continuous tense? Well, you'd think I was crazy. Don't worry, I'll help you understand that by showing you a very simple sentence. The sentence says, I'm driving to my aunt's place next summer. Now, why is this a present continuous tense? Okay, for those who don't know, a present continuous tense is an action that is ongoing, but that action is happening right now in the present tense. And there is a formula to sentences in the present continuous tense. That formula is the subject, which could be I, you, he, whatever, I, you, he, she, it, followed by am, is, or are, followed by the verb in the ing form. I repeat, a present continuous will always have this formula. You will start that with a subject, which will be followed by either the am, the is, or the are, followed by the verb in the ing form. But how can you use that to talk about the future? Let's think about it. I could say, I will be going to my aunt's place next summer. Or I could be boring and say, I am going to my aunt's place this summer. Both are correct, but we don't want to be boring. So we use the help of the present continuous tense instead and say, I am driving to my aunt's place next summer. So do you see? I have used the present continuous tense and I have yet described an action that I'm going to be doing in the future. Cool? Okay, I have another way that I can talk about the future and not use will or going to. We don't want to use this anymore. Okay, that is by using the future continuous tense. Let's look at the sentence. But before we look at the sentence, let's understand the formula to use the future continuous tense. Of course, if this has got a formula, this one also has to have a formula, right? Okay, what is the formula? So the formula is our subject, which could be I, you, he, is, she, it, whatever, plus will be plus the verb in the ing form. Okay, so I will be driving to my aunt's place next summer. So a future continuous tense does talk about a future event, but obviously since it is continuous, it is an ongoing action. So as you can see, we have talked about the future tense We have talked about the future events without using going to or without using will, and yet we have described a future event. Isn't that interesting? Okay, now this is going to be really surprising. You can also talk about the future tense by using a sentence in the simple present. A lot of people who are learning English do not know that you can use something as simple as the simple present tense and talk about future events. Did you not know it? Well, now you do. So, how do you do that? Remember, there are 3 points you have to really pay attention to if you want to use the simple present and talk about a future event. Okay, number 1, it has to be a transportation schedule that you are describing. For example, my flight arrives at noon. Let's say it is around 10 o'clock in the morning. So I've gone to the airport at 10 a.m. But my flight's going to come around 12 p.m. at noon. So I'm talking about a future event. But I don't need to talk about, or I don't need to use the will or the going to. I can simply say my flight arrives at noon. I don't have to say my flight will arrive. My flight is going to arrive. My flight arrives at noon is good enough. That is when you're talking about a transportation schedule. My train arrives at 4 p.m. My bus arrives at 9 o'clock. Okay, second point. If you are talking about the simple present to describe a future event, you have to also make sure that it has to be a scheduled event. A scheduled event or a scheduled conference. For example, you can say the meeting starts at 10 a.m. Well, it's 9 o'clock in the morning now. The meeting is going to start sometime in the future. I don't have to say the meeting will start at 10 a.m. I don't have to say the meeting is going to start at 10 a.m. I'd be okay if I said the meeting starts at 10 a.m. Did you notice when I'm talking about the simple present, I simply add the S to the verb. So a verb like arrive becomes arrives. A verb like start becomes starts. Okay, the third point, when you are going to use the simple present to talk about a future event, is to talk about things or let's say something that may operate on a regular schedule. Okay, there are a lot of things that operate regularly, right? Let's take an example. The bank closes, I add the S again, at 4 p.m. Don't go telling people, I can't go to the bank. My bank will close at 4 p.m. My bank is going to close at 4 p.m. Don't be boring. Say, my bank or the bank closes at 4 p.m. So as you can see, there are various ways to talk about the future tense, and you don't have to use these 2 boring ways to do it. Now let's have a look at one extra way or a new way of talking about the future. You can talk about a future event by using the future perfect tense. Okay, there is a formula to understanding or to knowing how to apply this tense. The formula is subject, which is I, you, he, she, it, they, plus will have, plus the past participle form of any verb. Now, what is a future perfect tense and when do you use it? A future perfect tense is used when you are obviously talking about a future event. However, you are talking about that event that is going to happen between some point in the present and some point in the future. So let's assume this is my timeline, okay, and this is the present, and I think it should be around 12 o'clock in the afternoon right now. Let's assume it's 12 o'clock. And the point in the future is going to be sometime at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So let's say I'm doing my homework. I'm like writing, reading, doing my homework. I'm doing it right now in the present, right? However, I want to finish my homework by 3 p.m. I don't know if I'll finish the homework exactly at 3 p.m. or sometime between 12 and 3. I don't know, okay? So when we talk about the future perfect tense, we are talking about a future event that could happen anytime between now and between a future point of time, which I'm assuming for now is around 3 p.m. So I can say by 3 p.m., which is my future time, I, the subject, will have finished, which is the past participle form of the verb finish. So by 3 p.m., I will have finished my homework or my work. So it is 12 p.m. right now. I'm talking about a future event that is going to happen at a certain point. And that future event may happen at any time from the present until the future time. And therefore I say I, subject, will have, and then I use the past participle of the verb finish. You have some other examples that you could probably use. I could say, I will have arrived by midnight. So maybe I am in the plane and I'm going home. So it is around 5 o'clock in the evening. It's a long flight, but I will have arrived by midnight. Okay, so that's how you use the future tense by talking about a future event, but you are still using the sentence in the future perfect tense. Okay? Well, I hope you have all understood that future tense can be really simple, can be really interesting to use if you do not stick to the usual way of saying will and going to every time you have to talk about a future event. So I hope this lesson can really help you enhance your written and your spoken English skills when talking about the future, which we all have to do. So I'll see you with some more lessons. So keep practicing, keep learning, and tell me how it has helped you. I'll see you soon. Take care and have a great day.